Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon to vote for Killer Frost or Deadshot, and like and subscribe for eternal rivalries next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Victor Creed, definitely not Wolverine, totally different guy. Wolverine is a guy with big claws, a healing factor, and a gruff demeanor. Sabertooth is a guy with big claws, a healing factor, and a gruff demeanor, and he's tall. Look, people want me to redo Wolverine, this is the closest we're gonna get.
So what now, Jack Sparrow? We're to be two immortals locked in an epic battle until Judgment Day and the trumpets sound. Or you could surrender.
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, claws, but not adamantium ones, just like claws. Next, we need regeneration. Not super regeneration, just pretty good regeneration. So if you're just Wolverine but worse, how are you two rivals? Well, Victor is a feral monster man, so we're gonna go absolutely wild and tear people apart. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just watch your multi-classing minimums. Strength will be number 1. Ripping meat off of bones is not a finesse move. Constitution next, you're incredibly durable. Your rival is Knife Hand Man, and you take turns stabbing each other for eternity. That's pretty tough. Dexterity after that, even if you want to rip and tear with massive muscles, you're still pretty quick. Can't be wearing armor, that would hide your massive muscles. Follow that up with wisdom, you need the senses of a cat and the tracking ability of a dog. Charisma is a bit low, you're intimidating but not all that charming. We'll dump intelligence though, despite being present for a lot of historical events, you don't really pay attention that much. I'm making Victor a Leonin, you could go Tabaxi or custom lineage, or gnome at home. I don't care. I'm making him a Leonin. That gives him +2 to his constitution and +1 to his strength, 60 feet of dark vision, claws that are natural weapons you can use to make unarmed strikes, dealing 1d4 plus your strength modifier in slashing damage. We'll get better claws in a bit, but I wanted to make sure you always have a backup plan to grip and rip. You can use the daunting roar, forcing a wisdom saving throw on creatures within 10 feet of you. Failing that, they're frightened until the end of your next turn. A 6.5 foot tall guy roaring like a lion? Yeah, I'd pee a little. You get an extra skill like survival to track people down, and 2 skills from your background. We'll go for the athlete background. For athletics and acrobatics proficiency, we just can't get acrobatics from your starting class, that being barbarian, and those 2 skills that we would get being intimidation and perception, making you scarier and sniffier if you want to sniff. You get rage to give yourself resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, extra damage to your strength-based attacks, and advantage on strength checks and saves for a minute at a time. You have to either make an attack or take an attack to keep that up, but that's probably not going to be an issue for you. You're a pretty violent guy. To be a violent guy in a very deep V, unarmored defense makes your AC 10 plus your dexterity and constitution modifier when you're not wearing armor. Just because you can take a bunch of damage doesn't mean you have to. Second level barbarians get reckless attacks, letting you make your attacks with advantage as long as you don't mind giving your enemy advantage to hit you. That's the kind of feral action Sabertooth is all about. Dangerous Sense gives you advantage on dexterity saving throws against spells and traps you can see. Cats are very quick on their feet after all. Third level barbarians can choose a primal path, and the Path of the Beast lets you choose one of 3 natural weapons. 2 are good options for you, 1 is not. That's the tail. It deals a d12 of piercing damage with reach. Not really a Sabertooth thing, but biting and clawing, both very Sabertooth. Claws deal 1d6 slashing damage, and you can make 1 additional attack on each of your turns. Biting deals 1d8 piercing damage and heals you an amount of HP equal to your proficiency bonus if you're below half health. That means claws are the best option for damage, and biting is the best option to soak up damage. But hey, to all my favorite people who comment on old videos asking why I didn't use subclasses that didn't exist yet, Wolverine can't use pure beast barbarian anyway, because the regeneration and the claws are 2 different options. You can't have the claws and the regen at the same time. Not as big of a deal for Sabertooth because he's not as good at regenerating, but also sometimes he bites. You can also grab another barbarian skill here, like animal handling, letting you get along better with animals. You have so much in common, after all. 4th level barbarians get an ability score improvement. I feel like Victor would choose violence and choose the dual wielder feat. That lets you use 2 weapon fighting with weapons that don't have the light property. Your claws are simple melee weapons without the light property. They don't have the heavy property. That's the only requirement. You can also add 1 to your AC while you're wielding a weapon in each hand, so if you get your claws out, you can make 3 attacks per round at this point, but 1 doesn't get your ability modifier, that's the bonus action one. Until we jump over to fighter for the 2 weapon fighting style, letting you add your ability modifier to the damage of your offhand weapon attack. Effectively, that means you're a berserker barbarian and a beast barbarian at the same time, as long as you're using the claws. You also get another form of regeneration with second wind, letting you heal 1d10 plus your fighter level as a bonus action once per short rest. It's like a really big big piece of healing every once in a while. Second level fighters get Action Surge, letting you make 2 actions in 1 turn once per short rest. That's 4 attacks in a round if you use them on attacks. Pretty sure Sabertooth isn't using the extra action for an Arcana check. Third level fighters can choose a martial archetype. Champions get improved critical, letting you critically hit on a 19 or 20. Since reckless attacks give you advantage, that's double the chances to roll a crit with doubled odds. I don't know the statistics math on that, but it makes my feral little tiger brain happy. Fourth level fighters get another ability score improvement. Bump your strength for bigger claw attacks from bigger biceps. It's not like your claws are getting bigger. Fifth level fighters get an extra attack. They're the only class that gets any form of extra attack. Definitively, I mean exactly what I say there. That's 2 attacks with every action, 4 with an action surge, 5 if you use the claws, and a 6 with a bonus action to shred X-Men like Taco Bell lettuce. Sixth level fighters get another ability score improvement. Cap off your strength score here to deal maximum damage. If you want to kill Wolverine and you don't have metal bending powers, you're gonna need a lot of damage. Seventh level champions are remarkable athletes, letting you add half your proficiency bonus to any strength, dexterity, or constitution check you're not proficient with, and you can add your strength modifier to the distance of a running long jump. That's 25 feet for horizontal jumps, to jump like a tiger. Tigers aren't good jumpers. They're great! 8th level fighters get another ability score improvement or a feat. We'll take the tough feat for plus 2 HP, every level you have and every level you get, meaning 24 at this point and 40 total by the end of things. More AC from bumping your constitution would be nice, sure, but I'd rather just have a dump trucks of HP to not care about. 9th level fighters get something to help them not die with Indomitable, letting you re-roll 1 failed saving throw once per long rest. It pairs great with your danger sense, basically giving you a 3rd chance to avoid a fireball. 10th level champions get another fighting style. Unarmed fighting lets you deal 1d8 bludgeoning damage with your unarmed attacks, 1d6 if you have 1 free hand, and 1d4 to a creature you have grappled once per turn. It adds damage to grapples since you've sunk your claws into them and lets you punch them if you want to. It's weird that your punches actually hit harder than your claws, but your claws are faster, so they'll still deal more damage. 11th level fighters get an extra attack again for 3 attacks with your action, 6 with an action surge, a 7th with claws, and an 8th with your bonus action from 2 weapon fighting. All of those are reckless, all of those have a doubled critical hit chance. If only we could make critical hits better. 12th level fighters can make their critical hits better if you take the slasher feat, giving you +1 to your dexterity, and when you critically hit a creature with a slashing attack, they have disadvantage on attack rolls until the end of your next turn. That means it's neutral attacks after you've recklessly attacked, so every time you critically hit, it's like you got advantage for free. Bananas. You also lower a creature's movement speed by 10 feet when you hit them with a slashing attack once per turn. Little note, that means your attack against them on your turn slows them down, but then if they try to run and you make an opportunity attack on their turn, it's reduced again by 10 feet. Then you can pounce and stay in melee range so nobody can escape your claws. 13th level fighters get another use of Indomitable. Worth noting, you can use these on death saving throws, but with your giant health pool, those should be few and far between. 14th level fighters can get more health with an ability score improvement. Bump your constitution score for 18 more HP at this level, since that all scales retroactively as well. 15th level champions get superior critical, letting you critically hit on an 18, 19, or a 20 with a standard combo of 5 attacks per round from the claws and extra attack. That's 10 d20s from reckless attack to land a critical hit with a 15% chance. You are more likely than not to critically hit, which means you're more likely to shut down their advantage against you. Logan has better regen, but Victor has better combo. Our capstone is the 16th level of fighter for 1 last ability score improvement, letting you cap off your constitution modifier for the most HP we could possibly have with this build. Let's talk about that in the pros section. First, you're bulky with over 250 HP, 17 AC, which is decent-ish, and resistance to physical damage while you're raging. You also have a great combo game with a standard 5-hit combo, up to 8 attacks with action surge, each having a 15% chance to crit and advantage from reckless attacks. Finally, you're very hard to escape with great grapples and slasher to cut your foe's legs out from under them. For weaknesses, you don't have many ranged options, so Angel of all people could be an issue. You're also low on intelligence, so illusions and psychics could X you out. Finally, because we focus so much on your Furious combo game, you only have 3 rages per day, which could slow you down on the warpath. But I don't see those being big issues as long as you're on a balanced team. You are a feral front man. Dive in and rip everything close to you apart. Just watch out for someone with even more health than you. It could end up rustling your jimmies. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Join the Patreon to vote for Killer Frost or Deadshot, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.